So on this one, we don't have, I don't think that there's companies that are available in the air transport, but there's several companies into constructions as part of this workshop. So how the air transport infrastructure development can be an opportunity for those construction companies. If you can just touch base on this quickly, and then we can move on to the next slide.
Well, for the construction companies, like I said, we are now in the phase of development of different regional airports, and therefore there is going to be a lot of business in supply of construction materials to develop these airport facilities, consultancies, and the rest of it. And I think they will be interested in establishment of all these terminals. So I do think that the opportunities are great in the air transport field, and the infrastructure company, the construction companies will be interested in participating in the aviation industry. If I go to the railways, currently the privatization of the railways sector is underway in all the East African community countries because of the interlink that I have told you about, to extend this to all the neighboring countries. For starters, a concessionaire from South Africa has taken over the Uganda and Kenya railways for 25 years. So once this is done and different construction companies come in, you will find that there is going to be a lot of construction coming up in this railway sector. The countries are also looking at development of intra-city railway systems, and there are feasibility studies that are being done, for example, in Nairobi and in Kampala, about the intra-city railway systems. So there are still exist several opportunities in these, such as those mentioned down on the screen. Road transport, certainly the biggest. We have 5 major regional road corridors. We have a total network of 15,273 kilometers, of which 8,000 of these are main routes, while the 6,900 are feeder routes, which are largely maram and not yet constructed. The government of Uganda has allocated a huge portion of its budget towards the construction of the road transport. It actually accounts now to about 20% of the national budget dedicated towards construction of the road network. This is one of the big opportunities for the construction companies to come and invest in and earn huge profits. Corridors are also being extended to the 5 partner states to ease market access and production. And these will include the ports, like I have told you, on the water transport, the railway station, and definitely the airports. So we are inviting companies to come here and participate in the construction of these major bridges, roads, and rehabilitation of the road network. Energy, the energy sector has been restructured and is being opened up for private investment. The East African company partner states have developed an East Africa Power Master Plan to be able to bring in the private players in the distribution of energy. Currently, for example, in Uganda, the energy corridor covered is about 30% of the country. That means we still have 70% of this country to be connected to the energy network. Therefore, there are several opportunities in manufacture of transformers, insulators, and energy meters. We are encouraging solar electricity generators. As you know, our climate is tropical and brings in a lot of sunshine. So we are actually adopting the solar energy for the rural areas. We have transformation projects coming up. Wind power, we are not short of wind in this part of the world, and therefore we are encouraging private investments in the generation of wind power, especially in the rural areas, and definitely the construction of dams for hydroelectricity, such as in the northern part of Uganda, where you have so many rivers that are still untapped in terms of hydroelectricity. We are relying on hydroelectricity as the main electrical supply in the country, power supply in the country. The potential of the hydropower is mainly along the River Nile, which has been estimated at 2,000 megawatts. However, we are tapping only about 300 megawatts of this, and there still exist potentials in tapping of this hydropower potential. So we are encouraging the high companies to come and tap into these investment opportunities. What you see on these tables are the few dams that have been created and constructed in Uganda currently, but still there is a large potential in creation of energy, especially the hydropower. Water transport.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I have one question from the attendees. On all the projects you're mentioning, how far are we with those projects? Are those projects already implemented?
The projects have been implemented in phases. In phases, we are showing the capacities for all these that are being implemented. There are 7 of them. We have contractors on site on the 6 of them, except Isimba Falls, which is not yet taken up. But we are saying that there is still large potential for all the other dams that are still untapped along the River Nile. What we are seeing here, what we did not put are the investors who are taking up, for example, a Chinese company has taken up Karuma, and they are doing very well. So what we can provide would be the list of the other points that have been explored that have the potential to bring in hydropower that potential investors could explore for construction and investments. A few of them are below, like Musizi, which has a capacity of 10. Bogoye in Mubuku, along River Mubuku, has 7.5, and Nengo, along River Ntungu, has 12 megawatts estimated power. But we can provide a list of potential sites along River Nile.
Thank you very much. I think we can go to the next slide quickly, and we've got a couple of questions in the queue for you at the end. Thank you.
There exist several investment opportunities in terms of water transport. Passenger transport is the one area that still is largely not tapped because of the investors have not yet come to potentially tap into the freight and the water transport. But there exist lakes in Uganda, such as Victoria that I have shown you, Lake Albert, and both of these are actually border lakes. So if you tap into the water transport, you could now move between country to country. The opportunities definitely are outlined there. Construction of cruise ships, dockyards, pipelines, container terminals, inland container depots, There is also servicing and computerization of the port operations, and we are inviting investors to come and tap into these opportunity areas. Sanitation and water services are being privatized. We have the biggest supplier being a government body, National Water and Sewage Corporation, and they are conducting trials with the private sector in 2 cities, that is the main capital city, Kampala and Jinja, and trying to find based on how to collaborate with the different private players in the provision of water infrastructure in the country. Currently, about 20% of the country is supplied with piped water, and there still exist huge potentials to supply the 80% of the country. So there are opportunities in laying the infrastructure for water, pipes, manufacture of pipes and other accessories. And like I did say that the country has 35 million people. This is a bulk number of people to accommodate in terms of housing. And urban housing is still a challenge in this country. Estimates of 2014 show that, for example, in the capital city alone, there is a deficiency of 100,000 housing units for the middle income class. When it comes to low-cost housing, there is definitely a huge gap in terms of supply of the low-cost housing estates to the urban population. So this is an investment opportunity that will bring in huge returns, and we are inviting investments in this field. The manufacture of prefabricated concrete systems and other fittings into the building industry is still largely untapped. Majority of these are imported from various countries around the world. We would be happy to house our own industry coming in here for prefabricated housing and that sort of stuff. Processing of the non-metallic minerals to make sanitary fittings, tableware, glass, cement and lime. We actually still have huge deposits of lime in the northeastern part of the country that can be used to make cement, and we are inviting investors to come into this sector and exploit all the opportunities in this. We are saying mortgage services are available, but these are provided to the end customers, and therefore the assurance here is that the investors will not be short of customers to take up their units. So basically that is the opportunity in the construction sector.
Thank you very much. I have one question from France. So the question is there any organization in France that you know of, or how is that possible for French entrepreneurs to get in touch with Ugandan entrepreneurs, and in general how to basically get in touch with your organization?
The Uganda Investment Authority organizes what we call B2B. This is business to business linkage workshops. We organize them every half year to be able to coordinate large investors from across the globe with local investors who are already participating in a particular field to be able to harness the potential between the two. So yes, we do, and you can only get that service through the investment body. We have also a French embassy here in Kampala, which can also assist in linking you to
entrepreneurs.
Authority. Yeah.
Okay, so the best way for a French entrepreneur or for any entrepreneur is either to contact his embassy, or basically to contact the Uganda Investment Authority, and then you can basically connect them with the local entrepreneurs.
Exactly, and that makes the business more sustainable if you partner with the local entrepreneur, because then they know the local landscape much wider. This is the kind of joint venture that we are actually marketing and promoting in this
Okay.
kind of business.
I have another question regarding, is there any special regulation for renewable energy? One of the company attending this workshop is very interesting in the renewable energy prospect. You were mentioning solar panels and so on. So just what are the regulations? Is there any regulation, and where we can find them?
Regulations in terms of the laws and the
Yes.
statutes?
Yes, laws and statutes, and if
Oh,
there
yeah.
is any license that any foreign company has to have if they want to do business in Uganda.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. There are regulations for renewable energy, and if the company is to come and do business here, you preliminarily need the two types of licenses. The first is the investment license, which actually determines and shows that you are a licensed investor and you have the financial capacity and muscle to invest in this country. And then the second is the renewable energy license, which is regulated by the ministry in charge of energy. It's called Ministry of Energy, Minerals and Mineral Development. These two licenses can be acquired in a span of 14 days so that you can be able to start business in Uganda.
Okay, and I have one other question is I think someone is interested in Madagascar opportunities. So can we use Uganda and basically do business from Uganda to Madagascar? I know this is quite far, but have like operations in Uganda and ship to Madagascar and do business to Madagascar.
The interlinkage between the Uganda and Madagascar not yet well developed, simply because of the transportation challenge. It is something that has slowed down trade between Uganda and Madagascar, because most of the trade is being done using the international airlines. This makes the cost of doing business much higher and therefore less profitable.
Oh,
So unfortunately, it is not yet well developed, but this could be an area of exploration to see whether the interlinkage cannot be developed using the water transport, which is a cheap mechanism of transportation.